Look, don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger. But let me ask you a real question. Have you ever wanted something so bad? I'm talking about you worked for it, you prayed for it, you chased it, and when you finally got it, it didn't feel as good as you thought it would? Meaning that new upgraded job you just got, the money you received, the body you just put together, or even the relationship you always wanted. You thought this would feel you, but somehow, some way, you still feel the same. Well, the Bible talks about this exact feeling in Ecclesiastes chapter 6, and it was written by one of the most richest, wisest, and successful men who ever lived, King Solomon. Now, let's take a moment to talk about this great man, King Solomon. Now, this man had unlimited money, women, power, wisdom, and influence. So if anybody should have been fulfilled, it should have been him. But instead, he says, all this is meaningless. You see, Solomon said, there's a man who has wealth, possession, and honor, but God doesn't give him the power to enjoy it. Let me break that down. This means you can be blessed and still not fulfilled. Now, let me give you a quick illustration for better understanding. Imagine a barber. He finally builds his clientele. He's making amazing money, and he gets his own suite. But on the other hand, now he's stressed, he's burnt out, he has no peace, no joy, and every cut is feeling like pressure instead of passion. And that's what Solomon is saying. He's saying it's possible to have the life you prayed for, but still feel empty. And what's the point of having something that you can't even enjoy? Now, if you take a look at verses 3 to 6, Solomon is clearly saying more doesn't mean better. Now, here Solomon even goes to the extreme because he says a man can have 100 children, live a long life, and even build a legacy. But if there's no satisfaction, it's worse than ever living at all. Now, that might sound harsh, but it's real. And guess what? The truth will set you free, because you got to think, in our society, what we think is more money equals more happiness, more followers equals more value, and more success equals more peace. And that's not it. Because Solomon says something very profound. He says more without meaning is just more emptiness. So what I get from that is that a long life doesn't mean a full life. Real talk, because what I've come to find out by just living is that there are people who are rich but depressed. There are people who are famous but lonely. And there are people who are super successful but they are lost morally. And why is that? Because success can fill your hand, but it cannot fill your heart. Then if you look at verse 7, he says, all man's labor is for his mouth, but his appetite is never satisfied. So in simple terms, what he's saying is that you keep working, you keep chasing, and you keep achieving, but your desires is just going to reload. For example, if you say, if I just make $1,000, and then you're going to turn around and want $5,000. Or if you say, if I can just go work out, and then you finally work out, get in the shape that you want, and you still want more. Or if you say, if I can just get her, and then you finally get her, and now you want something else. You see, the cycle will never end. So the lesson is, if you don't end up controlling your desires is going to end up controlling you and your happiness. And this is why contentment is the real win, because Solomon says, better what the eyes see than wandering desires. And what that simply means is that it's better to enjoy what you have than constantly chase what you don't. Alright, let's say we have two people. You have person A and person B. Now, person A, they only make 50K, but they're grateful, they're peaceful, and they actually enjoy life. And then you have person B, they make 200K, but they're always chasing, they're always stressed, and they're always complaining about something. Who do you think more richer? Well, if you said person A, you are correct, because guess what? The one with the most peace is the one who's really winning. Look, I promise you, contentment will take you further than any chasing ever will. So what Solomon is really pointing to is that life without God will always feel incomplete. But why is that? Because you were never designed to be fulfilled by money, possessions, success, or people. You see, true fulfillment comes from purpose and the connection with God. And that's why later Jesus Christ says, I came so that they may have life and have it more abundantly. Not just existing, but actually fulfilled. So how do we live this out? Number one, practice gratitude daily. This means stop focusing on what you don't have and be appreciative of what you do have, whether that be your family, a job, a roof over your head, food in your mouth. Number 2, slow down and enjoy life. You see, don't rush through blessings trying to reach your next one. Number 3, check your heart. Ask yourself, am I chasing fulfillment or am I living fulfilled? Those are two different things. And last but definitely not least, put God first, because without Him, everything that you receive, get, is going to feel temporary. Look, you can have the money, the body, the status, and even the relationship and still feel empty. But if you have peace, purpose, and God, even the simple, smallest things will make you feel rich. Because a full life in God's eyes is not about what you can gain. It's about what you can truly enjoy. As always, I hope this message helped at least one person. I will be back at you again tomorrow with another one. Until then, I need you to keep your head on the swivel, love yourself, and only help who wants to be helped. You know I love y'all.